With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The season is over for Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. An MRI revealed he has a ruptured right Achilles. Third time in as many years Watson's season has ended early due to suspension or injuries. There is a chance he's played his final game with Cleveland, says ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
He's going to come back. Wasn't playing great. He's going to have the surgery done on the Achilles. And they're going to have some decisions to make at that position. First of all, are you telling me that the Browns aren't going to go into the offseason and go place a high priority on drafting a quarterback as high as possible? Of course they are.
Schefter on the Pat McAfee Show. Dolphins aiming for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to return from a concussion Sunday against the Cardinals. Commanders QB Jaden Daniels week to week with a rib injury. He could play Sunday against the Bears. WNBA Players Union opted out of the current CBA, faces the prospect of a work stoppage if a new labor deal is not negotiated by the end of the 2025 season. Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez will likely be on the World Series roster. He's been on the IL with a flexor strain in his pitching elbow.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, Lions, Packers, Commanders. I'll tell you which team now sits atop my challengers to the Chiefs at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Former Saints offensive lineman James Hurst in 15 minutes. Peter Burns next hour. There was a little game up on Rocky Top this weekend. Not sure if you heard. We'll talk about that in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
You know, in my opinion, the a sign of a great team is consistency. Yes, you need great players and great coaches and all that sort of stuff, but all great teams have consistency. It was a hallmark of what Nick Saban did at Alabama for 17 years. It just didn't matter who they were playing, when they were playing, where they were playing, if they were coming off a big win, a lot, whatever it may be. They always felt like they were the same team. And I'm not going to tell you that LSU is a great team. I don't believe that. But Saturday against Arkansas was a really big step in the right direction for LSU as a team and as a program. This was, like we talked about all week, a very, very obvious letdown spot for LSU. I mean, there are sports bettors that even call it the field storm fade. If a team wins a game, their fans rush the field, bet against them the next week because they're going to have an emotional letdown. It's natural. LSU beats Ole Miss. They got to go on the road in conference play against an Arkansas team. It's a pretty good team, flying high because they beat Tennessee, coming off a bye, 2 weeks to get healthy, 2 weeks to prepare, all that stuff. Look, on this show, Phil Steele picked against LSU. Lee Sterling picked against LSU. Stanford Steve on College Game Day picked against LSU. Scott Van Pelt picked against LSU. 3 of the 6 pickers on Game Day picked against LSU. A lot of people were picking against LSU because of the spot. I thought it was going to be another tense game against Arkansas because that's what it always seems to be. And what did LSU did? They went on the road and played their best game of the season. Their most complete game of the season. Arkansas went into that game averaging 199 rush yards per game. The LSU defense held them to 38. The LSU defense, how many people have I heard say, oh, they're a terrible run defense? My counter has been, they haven't been terrible. They've had some awful moments. The 50-yard run against Ole Miss, the 75 and 66-yard runs against South Carolina. But those are plays where bad gap fit, you miss a tackle. They're correctable. It's not like you've seen LSU just get blown off the ball and gutted. And they finally put it together. Arkansas had the most runs of 10 yards or more of any team in the SEC. They had one on Saturday night. A 13-yard run, by the way, that ended in a fumble. Shout out Greg Penn. They had 277 yards of total offense. Your defense played amazing. LSU found its running game. 36 rushes, 35 passes. You ran it 36 times for 160 yards on Saturday night against Arkansas. Oh, by the way, you never trailed. You took the opening possession, you went right down the field, you scored a touchdown, you even overcame a couple of penalties late in that drive. You had that was the first half. Anyway, it's in my notes somewhere. You had an OPI and then a false start. You overcame 2 penalties. You had a 2nd and 22, and Caden Durham scored from 22 yards out. Oh, by the way, on that opening drive of the game, you never faced a third down. You came out ready to play. You punched them right in the mouth. You went up 7-0. You never led. By the way, every time Arkansas put points on the board on Saturday night, you answered with points. When you were up 10-0, they kicked a 48-yard. When they scored their first touchdown to pull within 13-7, you answered with a field goal to make it 16-7. When they kicked a 51-yard field goal to start the second half, you went down. Forgive me, you punted after that, so you didn't score right after that. But you did later in the game. Point is, they did that against Ole Miss. After it was 10-0, they answered every possession where Ole Miss scored with points. You did it again on Saturday in the first half. Time of possession, 38-53 to 21-07. You dominated the line of scrimmage, and when you had to do it at the end of the ball game, you ripped off a 14-play, 80-yard drive, 8 minutes and 22 seconds off the clock. Shout out Todd Politz, the great Todd Politz out at LSU. The longest drive by time of possession for LSU since the Ole Miss game in 2014. Remember the drive that LSU had at the end of the game to go win it, and the only pass they threw on that drive was the game-winning touchdown pass when they won 10-7? That's the last time LSU had a drive as long as that one in Fayetteville on Saturday night. When you're going to run it, you're telling them you're going to run it, everybody knows you're going to run it, and they still can't stop you from running it. That was phenomenal to see. You know, a few big takeaways from this ball game. The defensive improvement is real. We know this LSU offense can move the football and score. They've done it a lot this year. But it is very clear to me now that piecing together the context clues, they went in the opener against Southern Cal, and they played their veteran guys and guys that they thought they could count on. For example, we've talked a lot about Sage Ryan playing corner against Southern Cal. He played 51 snaps at boundary corner. Hasn't played there since. But they were playing Southern Cal. Instead of starting a freshman in P.J. Woodland, they didn't have Zy Alexander back yet. They said, hey, let's put a guy out there that knows what he's supposed to do. But look at what's happened since. You took the month after that, and you said, let's play a ton of guys defensively. And there were times it didn't look great. The first half against UCLA didn't look great. The second half against UCLA looked pretty darn good when you allow, 84 yards of offense? They took a month and said, let's play everybody and figure out who's best where. And then when we get into that stretch of 7 straight SEC games, we know who our guys are. And what has happened the last 2 weeks? You went and held Ole Miss out of the end zone in the second half in overtime. And then you went to Arkansas and you allowed 1 touchdown. In the last 6 quarters plus overtime, you've allowed 1 touchdown to Ole Miss and to Arkansas. 2 pretty good offenses, by the way. The defense is better. It is, I'm not telling you, outside of Whit Weeks, I don't know that there's a first-round pick on this defense. And Whit's got another year. He's playing phenomenal, obviously. But your defense at every level is being coached better. They're in the right positions. They're executing what they're supposed to be doing. You have guys in the right spot. You got 2 veteran safeties in Sage Ryan and Jordan Gilbert who are playing well. You got 2 linebackers in Whit Weeks who's playing out of his mind, and Greg Penn, who's a veteran dude who knows what he's supposed to be doing. Zy Alexander, by the way, they did not target Zy Alexander on Saturday. Zero targets to Zy Alexander's way. He essentially took away a half the field. I mean, you are playing good. This ain't 2011, y'all, but you are playing good enough defense to beat any team you play. I'm not saying you're going to win every game you play, but you are playing good enough on the defensive side of the ball to beat any team you have remaining on the schedule. Talked about the running game, which clearly LSU has found. Caden Durham's playing hurt. Brian Kelly said on Monday, playing at 85%. We told you against South Alabama, he dislocated 2 toes. That is not an easy thing to come back from, but he's still out there. And what about the second and goal from the 22? Thinking you're going to waste that amazing opening drive where a touchdown had already come off the board. No problem. Caden Durham breaks a tackle, left sideline, runs through a face mask and a horse collar, still gets in the end zone. Incredible effort by that dude. Whit Weeks playing like an All-American. A lot of people have asked, do you think Whit Weeks is going to be an All-American this year? The tough part is he didn't play a ton for the first month of the season. Now, he had a major moment against Ole Miss. 18 tackles, the forced fumble, everything in that game where everybody was watching. He had another amazing day with the batted ball interception. But it wasn't nobody watching LSU Arkansas except you and me. Everybody was watching Georgia Texas. But this weekend, best game in college football this weekend is LSU Texas A&M primetime ABC. He'll have a chance. Go put on a show in that game. And then do it again 2 weeks from Saturday when Alabama comes in. Oh, yeah. They're going to notice 40. We all notice. But everybody's going to notice. 2 more great performances by Whit Weeks. He'll have a great opportunity. Trey'Dez Green had over 40 snaps on Saturday. He had 1 reception on 3 targets, caught the 2-point conversion. Love the dimension that he gives you in this offense. And by the way, the 1 catch on 3 targets, one of the targets was a ball that was batted at the line of scrimmage. Trey'Dez was open. He might have had 2 catches in that game, plus the 2-point conversion. So love to see that. One of the things I always say, and you know it, winning mass deficiencies. So when you have a game like that where everything looks so good, it's so easy to ignore the bad thing, and the bad thing is the thing that everybody's talked about. It's the penalties. 11 penalties, all of them on your offense, 7 procedure penalties in the first half, 3 against DJ Chester alone. You got to fix that. Now, the great news is in the second half, you didn't have any. Well, let me correct. You had 1. It was at the very end of the game when the backups were in and Ori Williams had a false start. But your starters didn't have any procedure penalties in the second half. Whatever they did at halftime or told them seemed to get the focus back for the offense to wipe out those penalties. And it was everybody. I mean, it was Chester. It was Mason Taylor who had a false start. Bordelon went in and had a false start.
Mason Taylor!
You had an illegal snap. Aaron Anderson had a wide receiver had a false start. Like, that's just focus. That is not the crowd. That is not the noise. That is focus. That's all that is. When a wide receiver has a false start, that is nothing other than focus. And Aaron Anderson's awesome. I'm not criticizing Aaron Anderson. He's been amazing this year. But get the focus back when you go to College Station this week because you can't put yourself behind the sticks over and over again. But they were good. What a day. And I'll tell you, in the postgame, Brian Kelly had an answer where he was asked about, has this team realized now what they're playing for? And he gave a very candid response about, what this team, can you play number 8? Listen to what Brian, you don't usually get this amount of candor from a coach about the goals a team is playing for.
I think that's pretty clear that this group kind of understands that now, especially, with 1 game on the road, and then we go on a bye week, and then 3 out of 4 at Tiger Stadium. So I think they can now sense that they have put themselves in a pretty good position. Now they got to go earn it again on the road, but there's clearly a different way that they perceive the next 6 weeks. And I think by their standards, they believe they're getting better, and I believe they're getting better each and every week. And this is a good time to get better later in the year.
You don't usually hear coaches talk about the next 6 weeks. What do coaches talk about? The next game. The next game is the most important. Texas A&M is the most important because it's the next game. All that sort of stuff. You don't hear coaches talk big picture. At least not externally. Internally, they might. Externally, they never say it. But Brian Kelly's being pretty candid there and telling you, they realize right now at this point like, oh, everybody thought we were crap after the Southern Cal loss. But now you look up and you're one of 2 undefeated teams, and the other one you're playing this week at their place. Go win that one. Now you're cooking with grease, y'all. 4 games remaining, 3 of them at home. All of them you should be favored. Yeah, it does look pretty good. But great teams are consistent. Can you go back up this performance against Arkansas with another one on the road against Texas A&M? If you do, you'll win that game. And you'll be 7-1 going into your bye, favored at home against Alabama. And my goodness, what a scene that will be. Great performance by the Tigers. Can they build on it? If they can, they're taking steps toward potentially being a great team. See if they can get there. All right, Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Hey, y'all. Sunday, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Taylor Swift is in New Orleans. It's the biggest concert event ever. I don't think that's really hyperbole. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage are giving away a pair of sweet tickets to the show on Sunday. If you want to enter, go to 1045ESPN.com. You'll see it right there on the homepage. Enter to win. You don't have to buy it. There's no purchase necessary or anything. All you got to do is go and just enter the contest. It's on the homepage at 1045ESPN.com. We'll draw for these tickets later in the week. We'll announce it on air. Again, if you want to win a pair of sweet tickets, courtesy of our friends at Mockler Beverage, in their suite for the Sunday show, enter now at 1045ESPN.com. By the way, the winner and the winner's guest both must be 21 years old. There's no one under 21 allowed in the Mockler suite. So the winner and the winner's guest must be 21 years old. So do not enter if you're not 21, and your guest must be 21 as well. Good luck. Enter at 1045ESPN.com. Okay, we're a little late. James Hurst, former Saints offensive lineman, next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Duplessis Builders. Hey, what a great time, y'all. If now that the weather's getting a little cooler, swimming season for this season is over. If it's time to start thinking about that pool that you want for the spring, now is the time. A lot of times you might think, I'll wait till after the holidays, I'll wait till the first of the year. But here's the problem with that, okay? The entire process from concept, plans, permitting, then actually doing the build out and then doing the landscaping and everything upon completion, that can be a months-long process. Start now. Call Duplessis Builders. Go to the website, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Design and build your backyard paradise. Go through the process with them at their showroom where they'll hold your hand and you'll help design what finishes you want for your gorgeous pool, outdoor kitchen, the whole outdoor space. It's duplessisbuilders.net. Their showroom's on Airline Highway in Gonzales, right next to the new Rouse's. duplessisbuilders.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Good to welcome James Hurst back to the show, former Saints offensive lineman doing great work now with WDSU. James, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Probably the vibes aren't quite as good inside the locker room, man. Take us there. I don't know, looking back at your career in Baltimore and then with the Saints, that you ever went through a 5-game losing streak. Now, I guess so with Sean Payton's final season. What's it like? What's it like whenever you go through something like this?
Well, it's funny. I didn't remember that I went through a 5-game losing streak until I was made aware of that a few days ago, which tells me that it's something you block out of your mind. But it's tough. It feels like it's never gonna end. It's very easy for doubt, to enter your mind, and you start to wonder if you're the problem. You start to think about your job, right? Because if you're not winning games, they're gonna find new guys, give them chances to play, and try to right the ship, and that's kind of the situation they're in. 5 straight is really, really tough. I don't think on paper you see this team losing 5 straight, but unfortunately injuries and then just seems like a bad spell on defense has them in this situation.
This is something I'll follow up there in a second, but this is something that I could ask you now as James Hurst, the analyst, that James Hurst, the player, would probably have a very different answer to. At 2-5, like, we're all sitting here going, realistically, with the injuries and the schedule ahead, like, they're not digging out of this hole to make it to the playoffs. What would James Hurst, the player, say, and what does James Hurst, the analyst, say when you look at the vision for the rest of the season for the Saints?
Yeah, James Hurst, the player, you have to be optimistic. If you get too down and that attitude becomes very contagious within the locker room, particularly being a older player, a veteran player, guys are looking to you whether you realize it or not. So with people in the leadership position, and I trust that they will do this well. I'll say that. The leaders on the team in the locker room, they're great people. They've been in this situation 2 years ago. So unfortunately, it's a little too recent. But they know what to do. They know what to say. They know how to handle themselves and how to act to get everyone on board, to do the things that they can do to right the ship. Now, the analyst side of me agrees with you. It feels like 5-game losing streak, 7 games in, you still got over half the season to play, but it just doesn't feel like enough guys that they seemingly need to get healthy. It seems like the clock is ticking and they're not going to have enough time to get guys healthy, to get them back in the groove of playing, because it's one thing to be healthy, but it's a whole other thing to get back on the field and produce like some of these players can produce. So it feels like the clock's going to run out, unfortunately. I do still foresee the team getting healthy and them going on a run late and making it interesting, but it feels like there's just not enough games left.
James, I'm not being funny with this question. I have no idea if you're in playing shape, but did they call you?
They did not call me. I talked to Mickey and Ty Harley and Jeff Ireland when we were in Kansas City covering that game. They kind of joked about it. They said, someone said your name at the table, but we didn't call. And I kind of laughed at them and just said, that's a good thing. It wouldn't have worked out. I probably would have lasted about 5 plays out there before I got hurt. But yeah, it's something that definitely crossed my mind. And my agent, he kept me up. He's like, don't be surprised if your phone rings this week.
I mean, I wasn't being funny with the question because it's not unprecedented, and the injuries that they faced are what's unprecedented, and someone who's a veteran knows the system could maybe jump back in. But, it's interesting. You and I spoke when they were in the midst of the first 2 weeks when it was going so well, and I was asking you for your perspective and context on why that wide zone and everything was working so well. Is it, James, fair to say, like, is it just the injuries that have caused this amount of a retraction from what we saw that was so historic those first 2 weeks?
I do think most of this. Now, I'm particularly talking about the offense here. Let me be clear when I say that. The defense is kind of another story, but the offense, I do think mostly, yes, it's the injuries. Losing Eric McCoy, who's one of the best in the league at his position, your franchise quarterback, losing him, and your backups, are very inexperienced and don't bring much to the table at this point in their careers. I'll say mostly it is injuries. However, the one kind of theme that I've been really interested in, so many people have talked about Taysom, right? And he missed the game. I believe it was the Eagles game that he missed, and the offense looked way different. And then he came back and the first half of that Cowboys game, and the offense kind of lit back up. So I think the question that I ask is, why Taysom's a great player. In no way am I taking anything away from Taysom when I say this, but you can't construct an offense that is so reliant on one player, one non-quarterback player, to seemingly just give that spark, right? I know he lines up all over the place. He plays all these different positions, but it's like, as soon as they lost Taysom, the surprise factor of the offense, the excitement kind of left the building. And then you stack more and more of those injuries on top of that, and it's just insurmountable. I think you can replace one starter, two starters, maybe three starters. But when you're talking 6, 7 starters on one side of the ball, it doesn't matter who you're playing, what coach you have. It's too much to replace.
Can I just follow up? I'm just to clarify. Are you saying, and I don't know if this was like you felt the same way when you were playing a year ago, but are you saying that Taysom is too integral a part of the offense, or was it just more like the spark that you're talking about?
Well, some of it's the spark. I think what I'm saying is the offensive scheme was too reliant on him being present.
Okay.
Taysom goes out, and sure, you're going to see a drop-off because another player is going to come in who's not a starter. They're not Taysom. However, the size of the drop-off that I think you saw shows that, hey, we're relying maybe too much on what he brings to the table or the kind of uncertainty that he gives to a defense.
And you don't feel it was like that last year when you were in that offense?
Well, it didn't feel like it because the way that they've used Taysom this year is even more variable than I played when I was with him. One play he's fullback, next play he's tight end, then he's quarterback, then he's running back. It's like they're moving him all over at such a high rate that it is a huge advantage for the offense because the defense can't possibly check and know any adjustments because they don't know what position he's playing when he comes out of the huddle.
Dude, I could talk to you for like 5 hours straight. James Hurst, I'm not going to keep you just for maybe a couple more minutes. James Hurst, former Saint, of course, doing great work with WDSU now. You did mention, and by the way, I agree with you on the offense. Like, you can't overcome all of the injuries on offense. For me, the bigger thing is, man, this defense, which under Dennis Allen has been so good for so long, has just come apart at the seams. They're literally dead last in the NFL. So what do you see? What has happened there?
The obvious one is tackling. Now, I can't really explain to you why. The many of the same players are still the starters there. But the tackling has to get fixed first and foremost. Too many missed tackles, and it seems like they're in big situations, third down conversions, open field one-on-one situations where there's so many more yards after the missed tackles. So that's gotta be fixed. And then 1B is the rushing defense. Dennis Allen, he coaches in a too high safety defense. That's what they like to be in. They like to play man to man. So the corners in the secondary, they're not able to support the run as easily as if they were in zone, where all eyes are on the ball at all times, right? So they rely on the defensive line and the linebackers, and at times a down safety to come in and help stop the run. But if they can't do that, they can't be in the defenses that they know best, the defenses that they play best. And it just seems like it's taken them completely out of who they are as a defense. And until they figure out how to keep, the rushing game in check, they're not going to be the defense that they're designed to be.
Yeah. James Hurst, before I let you go, Dennis Allen did announce that if Derek Carr isn't available this week, that they will stick with Spencer Rattler. How do you feel about that? Should Rattler, or do they give Jake Haener a shot with the 10 days to prepare?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. To be honest, I was very surprised that Rattler got the nod 2 weeks ago. You knew he was going to be going in back-to-back short weeks as a rookie with no real experience. And, they decided to name him the starter. And to be honest, he's done some things that have been very impressive. Again, like we've talked about, he's battling uphill. His supporting cast is really tough. In order for him to have some success, they're going to have to run the ball effectively. They're going to have to get their play-action game going. And then you lose Shaheed, who's really, taking the top off the defense. It's just going to be super tough for him. But giving him the nod again, I'm okay with that. I think from a confidence standpoint, you're giving him a real shot. It's not like, okay, he got a short week, then he got a Thursday game. Well, that's nearly impossible as a rookie to grasp the game plan in time, to be able to go out and learn from your mistakes and then go execute well. So I'm excited to see him with 10 days. I think 3 games is a good stretch. I think the team will have a decent idea of what they're working with after they see this. But Jake made it interesting going in and driving down for the touchdown late in that last game. So, I don't know. Again, it was so surprising. Jake being the second quarterback, I think it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot about what they thought of Rattler when they kind of bumped him above Haener for these starts here.
James Hurst, guy played a decade in the league, 4 seasons in New Orleans, now doing work at WDSU. Great stuff, man. I always appreciate your time in the chat and the insight, man. Thank you for making time today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Of course. It's our pleasure. It's after – God, that was good. His answer about Taysom was amazing. I would never have thought that. It's a perspective you get when a guy, especially who played so long, but also is so close to his playing days, that still knows so many of the players and the concepts and can give you that. Hey, that was fantastic. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Y'all, if it's on the lot, it's online. Go shop their entire inventory at southpointvw.com. That's South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or think you might be soon, shop them online. Remember, the end of the month is always the best time to buy a vehicle because I got to move inventory. It's a great time to do it right now at South Point Volkswagen. southpointvw.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, around the SEC, we'll get to what we learned. Muse, Paulie, and I would tell you on Thursday 3 things we're watching. We come back on Monday, do what we learned. Peter Burns in 1 hour from right now. Oh, there was a Muse. Has my dry cleaning gotten here yet, by the way?
Not yet. We're waiting on that still.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dry cleaning isn't here?
It's not in yet.
Okay. I'm waiting on something.
Yeah, I do. I've been assured that it will be here before the end of the show.
Okay,
it's
so
just
maybe like hour 3, you think it might
potentially,
be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Safe bet. Traffic. I mean, there's some traffic out there, man.
Traffic.
It's Monday.
Yes. Oh, it's a good point. Very good point. Yeah. So my dry cleaning should be here, we think, before the end of the show, probably in the 3rd hour, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I need my dry cleaning before the end of the show.
We'll get it.
Got it. Okay. Wonderful. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. That's Glow Resources. If you're a business owner, HR manager, hiring manager, operations manager, if you're in charge of finding the right people for your business and you keep struggling to find people that are efficient, that show up on time, do the job they're supposed to do, that are actually qualified, either with the skill set or the physical ability to do the job that you need, Glow Resources can help. They cast a wide net through all of their many different networks to find the right people. Again, at Glow Resources, they're not a temp staffing agency. So they don't want, like, if you're looking for work, don't call Glow. They deal with you, the business owner. They work with you to find the right people for your business. And that's skilled blue-collar labor. That's their professional placement division that handles basically any type of white-collar office job, even management. It's Glow Resources. G-L-O. GlowResources.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Texas has been fined $250,000. They've apologized to Georgia and officials for their fan behavior. If you weren't watching, there was a controversial pass interference call. Georgia was on offense. They throw an interception. They'd flagged pass interference. Texas got the interception. They run it down deep in Georgia territory. They flagged Texas for PI. Fans start pelting the field with trash, bottles, mostly from the student section. Steve Sarkisian had to come out onto the field near the student section and wave his hands as if to say stop. Ultimately, the officials after this would confer and then overturn the call and let the interception stand. And a lot of people looked at it and said, so basically the precedent you're setting here is that if you throw stuff on the field and boo loudly and create a scene, you're going to affect the officials to overturn their call. In any event, Texas was fined, like the $250 matters. I mean, $250 million. They wouldn't even blink an eye at that. $250,000. Sheesh. Anyway, the SEC also said they would not suspend alcohol sale privileges for Texas, but they reserve the right to do so if the requirements they put in place are not met. So something worth watching. It was an ugly scene. We saw similar stuff At Ole Miss, at Tennessee against Ole Miss. Incidentally, remember, like Lane Kiffin almost got hit with a golf ball a few years ago there at Knoxville.
Yeah, some guy threw mustard on the field.
Oh, I remember that. Mustard
bottle of mustard.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. He did throw a bottle of mustard. Someone get him an NIL deal. Anyway, ugly scene, but Georgia prevailed, of course, 30-15, handing Texas their first loss. All right, we're ready by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Hitting the road to College Station this weekend. You need new tires? Go to Shaw Bills. Hitting the road to College Station this weekend. You need your oil changed? Go to Shaw Bills. Hitting the road this weekend, going to College Station. That check engine light's on? Go to Shaw Bills. Whatever it may be. ShawBillsTire.com. Schedule your service, shop tires. It's all there. And, of course, we'll continue reminding you, Miss Beth Barron over at Shaw Bills, named by Modern Tire the Dealer of the Year. National award, national recognition of all the tire dealers in the country. Miss Beth Barron at Shaw Bills named the Modern Tire National Dealer of the Year. Congrats to Miss Beth Barron and everyone over at Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Texas Longhorns.
Despite benching Quinn Ewers for Arch Manning before halftime, Steve Sarkisian said after the game, there is no quarterback competition. Quinn Ewers is still the starter. They went to Arch to see if he can give him a spark there before half, but still the calls and the convos are going to get louder. Certainly expect Ewers to be back under center. Ewers was 6 of 12 for 17 yards and a pick when he was benched.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Oklahoma's fired offensive coordinator Seth Luttrell. It was reported first by our guys over at Sooner Scoop. It's been confirmed by Oklahoma. Luttrell was the North Texas head coach, was promoted from an analyst role last offseason by Brent Venables when Jeff Lebby left to become the head coach at Mississippi State. But Jackson Arnold, Michael Hawkins have struggled. Oklahoma 128th in the country in total offense. Co-offensive coordinator Joe John Finley takes over the play-calling duties.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Tide have turned to Bray Hubbard with starting safety Keon Sabb set to miss time for a pretty terrible Alabama defense, losing a starter in the secondary. Probably not a great thing. Sabb started the game against Tennessee, played 30 snaps, left the game, has been shut down for the rest of the contest. He was a starting safety alongside of Malachi Moore, so sophomore Bray Hubbard will go in. 6'2", 204-pounder, was second on the team in tackles before he was injured.
The Florida Gators.
Four-star defensive lineman Joseph Bachu has decommitted from Florida. He's out of Logan'sville, Georgia. That's it's a football factory there. 6'4", 280-pounder, number 379 overall prospect for 2025. Had offers from Bama, Auburn, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee. We'll see where he lands. For Florida now, just 11 commits for 2025.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee picked up a commitment for 2026. Big-time offensive tackle Braden Anderson out of the Atlanta area from North Cobb. Committed to Tennessee, had more than a dozen offers. He was there for the Tennessee win over Alabama. I'd imagine that might be pretty impactful for a young person. Had offers from Bama, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Miami, a whole bunch of others. 6'5", 335. He's the number 25 interior offensive lineman in the class of 2026. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah. They do indoor shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all. We'll knock out our final break here of hour number 1. When we come back, every Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things we're keeping an eye on. We call it What to Watch. And then we come back on Monday and look at how it all went. We call it What We Learned. We'll do that next to wrap up hour number 1. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, it's not too late to give our friends over at Action Industries a shout. If you're a welder, a crane operator, a pipe fitter, a boiler maker, Action Industries, they've got 2-month-long turnarounds coming up. And they've been in this hard recruitment cycle now. They need 100 to 120 people to work these turnarounds. Working 7/12s, 4 to 5 week turnarounds. All of the work local to Greater Baton Rouge. And the great news is you get on with Action Industries. They've got a year-long project that they were just awarded that's going to start soon as well. So be on board for that as well. Stable work for a longer period of time. It's Action Industries. 2 ways you could apply. online or in person. Online, I'll give you the website, actionindinc.com. That's Action Industries Incorporated. actionindinc.com, or apply in person at their Geismar office on Highway 30. Just go in and ask for Zach. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 7.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Any word on my dry cleaning yet?
Yeah. 5 o'clock.
Were we positive?
It's what I heard. Yeah, that it should be here for 5 o'clock.
So we do a show that a lot of people watch or listen to on demand, so we try to avoid saying specific times. So that would be hour 3?
Yeah, the top of hour number 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. Keep an eye on it. Let me know if there's any issues, traffic, anything like that might alter our plans. Just want to make sure my dry cleaning gets here before the end of the show today.
We'll definitely have it before the end of the show today.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Muse.
I'm positive. I'll see to it.
Okay. I mean, if we need to get the dry cleaning van, like a police escort or something, just got to have my dry cleaning here before the end of the show.
It's important.
You just let me know, right?
I will.
Make sure you keep me posted. Don't drop the ball on this, Muse.
Not going to.
I need my dry cleaning here before the end of the show today. All right. Hope you had a great weekend. The great thing is LSU had a really nice win. And the Saints couldn't root for us on Sunday. That's awesome. Saints are a 6.5-point underdog out in L.A. against the Chargers this week. Whoo boy, Dennis Allen did meet with reporters. We will get to some Saints talk later. Alvin Kamara debunked trade rumors. We'll get to that here in about 30 minutes from right now. Saints did work out a wide receiver on Monday. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a veteran. I mean, I won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, so we'll get into that a little bit later in the show as well. Right now, though, every Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things we're keeping an eye on for the football weekend. We call it What to Watch. We come back on Monday, tell you what happened, so we call it What We Learned.
We watched. Now, let's review.
All right, Muse, get us started over there.
One of the first things we were watching was Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. It was an interesting one because it could have been maybe a trip spot for Notre Dame. Georgia Tech's a great underdog. Then Friday afternoon, Haynes King was ruled out, and the game really just kind of lost all of its shine. I will say, the backup started 9 for 9. Led a touchdown drive. They had an interception. They were up 7-0, and then the second quarter started, and the game started.
Yeah, Phil Steele gave us that pick when it was 9.5. Notre Dame 9.5. It went up to 13.5, I believe. Still laid it. Still covered. Rocking chair. Easy. Paulie?
I was watching Cam Ward versus Louisville in his Heisman odds. So if you like the points, this was your game.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, 319, 4 touchdowns, 29 yards on the ground.
Paul, you need to go closer to the mic or you need to put him louder. Either way. You go ahead. Sorry.
So entering the game, his Heisman odds, he was around 4th or 5th best odds. Right now, he's either the favorite or number 2 behind Aston Genty. Miami's 7-0, best start since 2017.
I was keeping an eye on Travis Hunter. Again, Genty didn't play this weekend, so Hunter and Colorado had a big game on the road against Arizona. And what Paulie just alluded to there, we've talked a lot about Genty and Hunter. They've kind of been the co-favorites for the Heisman. Even despite a lopsided win for Colorado, it's 34-7 was the final. Travis Hunter's Heisman odds actually lengthened. He went from 12-1 to 20-1. You get all the odds up at LouisianaSports.net right now if you want to see them. But that's the problem. That's why it's so hard. I'm not telling you something you don't know, but as great as Hunter is, he might be the best player in college football. It's so hard to win the Heisman because it's so hard to guarantee you stockpile statistics, which are what lazy people that vote on this thing look for. So it's going to be very difficult for him to win it. Despite a big win, Hunter's Heisman odds actually got longer.
Georgia and Texas, and more specifically the start Georgia would get off to.
Woo!
Carson Beck was rough in that game against Alabama in the opener. Earlier in the year. He was pretty rough early on in this one, too. Threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Georgia did not get off to a fast start. The only difference is the Georgia defense looked like the Georgia defense, so it didn't really matter. Forced a fumble, short field, scored a touchdown in the first quarter, and never looked back from there.
So Georgia's still good?
Yes, yes.
Really?
Carson Beck, though.
Georgia's still good.
That's rough in 2 big games, man.
No doubt.
3 picks again here.
And despite 3 picks, Georgia, double-digit win on the road against the number 1 team in the country.
They ran the ball and smothered out an offense.
So Georgia's still really good?
Still really good.
Stunned. I'm not sure who possibly could have seen that coming.
I was watching the Lions-Vikings. The Lions knocked off the previously undefeated Vikings on a 44-yard field goal from Jake Bates.
How about that one?
Jameer Gibbs rushed for 116, 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson did by the end zone for the Vikings. Both Detroit and Minnesota are now 5-1. The whole NFC North above 500 right now.
As a Minnesota bettor, was not super thrilled with the way that went. That's stunk. Good day, though, for Jimmy Out's Football Sunday.
They were up 10-0 at one point.
Well, that was the very beginning of the game.
I don't care.
That lead evaporated very quickly. It was 10-0 in the first quarter, and it evaporated very quickly. I told you last week I was looking at Oklahoma, South Carolina. And the way I said it on Friday was, this isn't the game on the marquee that anyone's really interested in, but my goodness, did this end up being very telling. So much so that Oklahoma fired Seth Luttrell, their offensive coordinator, as a result of this game. They were bludgeoned on their home field by a mid-South Carolina team, which is now after the win, South Carolina is 4-3 overall, 2-3 in the SEC. Y'all, 35-9. This was never competitive. South Carolina got up 21-0 in the first quarter. 2 defensive touchdowns. Oklahoma, celebrate all them Big 12 championships, y'all. Because when you start getting run by mid-SEC teams on your home field, brother, this ain't the Big 12 no more, dog.
Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl rematch. Brock Purdy's not good. I think we all kind of knew that, but it just happened.
Good.
3 interceptions yesterday, man. He was bad. No,
he was bad yesterday. We can't say he's not
bad.
Good. He was bad yesterday.
Their offense.
Can we say he's not good?
It's getting easier, I think, because of that system. You've seen so many quarterbacks be proven to not be good in the NFL and be good in that system. Anyway, the Chiefs ran the ball down their throat. They won the game.
The Packers knocked off the Texans in a back-and-forth game that had 7 lead changes. C.J. Stroud was just 10 of 21, career-low 86 passing yards. He was sacked 4 times. Josh Jacobs, he got his first career touchdown reception.
A bit.
Yeah.
Thanks. And finally, mine was the Monday Night Football doubleheader. You have the first ever Monday Night Football game on Plus, streaming only. That's the one. That's the Chargers Cardinals. The better one, I think, that we're all keeping an eye on is Ravens Bucks, obviously because of the Bucks involvement there, and of course Lamar Jackson. The Bucks lose this game. It actually gives the Saints more incentive to maybe try to keep. I don't want to say try to keep winning, but the front office less incentive to be sellers at the trade deadline. Anyway, keep an eye on it tonight. Ravens, Bucks, Chargers, Cardinals. All right, hour number 2, staring you straight in the face. Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We'll run through some PFF grades for LSU.
AFR.
Supper Club closed Sunday, Monday, but they're back open on Tuesday with an eye toward Thursday night. I keep telling y'all, Thursday night, y'all make plans to be at Supper Club this Thursday if you haven't been yet. Or if you've been, but you haven't been on Thursday. A lot of the regulars at Supper Club loved back in the summer when Supper Club redid their menu and they added new items. There's always people who come in looking for, okay, what's new? What's chef cooking up? Well, on Thursday, this is a Thursday-only special. It's the 21-day dry-aged tomahawk bone-in ribeye, served as prime rib, sliced tableside. Y'all, it is immaculate. You've got to try it. Thursdays only at Supper Club. They also do their Thursday wine feature at Supper Club where they bust open a premium bottle, sell it by the ounce so you can try something that you may otherwise never buy a bottle of. It's Thursdays at Supper Club. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. After missing the last 4 games with the 3rd diagnosed concussion of his NFL career, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will return to practice this week. Teams aiming for him to play Sunday against the Cardinals. Today, Tua addressed those worried about him playing again.
I appreciate your concern. I really do. I love this game, and I love it to the death of me. That's it.
Tua Tagovailoa. An MRI revealed Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has a ruptured right Achilles. His season's over. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels week to week with a rib injury. Team hoping he can play Sunday against Chicago. Seahawks receiver DK Metcalf has a grade 1 sprain of the MCL. He's week to week. NBA, the Magic signing guard Jalen Suggs to a 5-year, $150 million extension, reports ESPN's Shams Charania. WNBA Players Union opted out of the current CBA, faces the prospect of a work stoppage if a new labor deal is not negotiated by the end of the 2025 season. Baseball, Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez likely will be on the World Series roster. He's been on the injured list with a flexor strain in his pitching elbow.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. Lions, Packers, Commanders. I'll tell you which team now sits atop my challengers to the Chiefs at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It's unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Peter Burns, bottom of this hour. Alvin Kamara debunking trade rumors, but should the Saints look a deal in him? We'll get to that in 15 minutes from right now. I often say, not often, every time we talk about Pro Football Focus, I say, Muse, indulge me, please. Indulge me. I know you don't like when I do this. What do I always say about Pro Football Focus?
It is a metric, not the metric.
Thank you, Muse. I appreciate you very much. It is something to consider. The reason I always give that caveat is the circumstance that we present today. I like to go through Pro Football Focus. I like to go through their grades. It's very thorough. It gives you a sense of what people who seem to know what they're looking at when they watch film, what they are seeing, and it's very thorough. Like, for example, I can look at a player, let's say an offensive lineman, and I can get their overall grade, I can get their run blocking grade, their pass blocking grade, how many penalties they had, their snap count, how many plays they pass blocked, how many plays they rush blocked, how many pressures they allowed. There's a lot of that stuff. It's so detailed and thorough. Well, I'm looking at LSU from the Arkansas game, and if you look at the starters, the 2 lowest graded players among the starters, the lowest graded player was Ori Williams, but he only played 4 snaps. The two lowest graded players among the starters, these are the ones with little stars next if you're watching. DJ Chester was the lowest graded LSU offensive player. And the second lowest graded player was Emory Jones. Of course, Emory Jones has been awesome for LSU, a 3-year starter. Pro Football Focus graded Emory a 51.9. His run blocking grade was a 60. His pass blocking grade was a 59.1. He did, unfortunately, have the run blocking grade was a 52. The pass blocking grade was a 62.4. He did have the holding penalty, which certainly dinged him. I say that because today, the SEC on Monday gave out their weekly awards. And this week's SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week, Emory Jones. A big round of applause, everybody. Your second lowest graded player, according to Pro Football Focus, from LSU this weekend, happened to be the best offensive lineman in the entire league, according to the league. So, again, take it for what it's worth. It's just a thing that we consider. But I do think we can look at some things from Pro Football Focus this week, and it does confirm a lot of what our intuition and some of the things we've talked about we know. For example, the highest graded offensive player for LSU this week was C.J. Daniels. And I know he is not flashy, but he catches everything. He's their best blocker. Every coach will tell you. They love having him on the field. I've given you the snap counts week after week. Like the most glaring example was that game against South Carolina where you were down 17. You ran 79 offensive plays. C.J. Daniels was on the field for 74 of them. The next closest wide receiver was Kyron Lacey with 61. They want him on the field every play. He's a security blanket for Nuss. He catches everything. He knows the route tree. He can run block. He can pass block. He's a fantastic player. And he was your highest graded offensive player. The next two, Will Campbell, Garrett Dellinger. Will Campbell had a run block grade of 80 and a pass block grade of 73.6. By the way, Garrett Dellinger's pass block grade was 83.6. The only player with a higher pass block grade was Miles Frazier. So we keep looking at LSU, and we look at this offensive line, and you continue to see this over and over again, which are elite pass blocking scores. LSU, through 7 games, has allowed 2 sacks. Now, part of that is Garrett Nussmeier is very good in the pocket. He can move. He can avoid pressure. He steps up. He's like a Tetris piece in the pocket. Great awareness, and he gets rid of the ball. There was one play in the first half where Campbell got beat by Landon Jackson, and Jackson was a step slow. Nuss got the ball off, and within a step, Landon Jackson hit him from behind. So it was a quarterback hit that Campbell gave up, but again, the ball got out. He held up long enough. A couple of other things that I found really interesting. Caden Durham. After Daniels, Campbell, Dellinger, Durham was your next highest rated offensive player. And actually, the only reason he wasn't higher is because his pass block grade was an 18.5. Like, if you're looking at the Pro Football Focus chart, there's like blue, which is excellent, like dark green, which is really good, light green, and then yellow, like yellow to orange to red as it continues to decline on the scale. So red is like terrible. So you could look, Paul, you could pull this up. Like you could look at the chart. This is like every offensive player's grade from the game. There's like one red dot on the screen. You can find it. The one red dot is Caden Durham's pass blocking grade. So anyway, but the good news is he ain't on the field to pass block. But all that to say, even if you, aside from the pass blocking grade, he was still your 4th highest rated offensive player. He's been outstanding. With the ball in his hand, his ability to make guys miss, to break tackles, the 22-yard touchdown run on the opening possession, which essentially wiped out the impact of 2 penalties, which took a touchdown off the board. Sad for Mason Taylor in that respect.
Mason Taylor!
And then the subsequent penalty after that, the false start, which moves you back. But I thought Caden Durham was really good. Most of the notables, though, here from the PFF grades are on the defensive side of the ball. And it should come as absolutely no surprise to anybody that the highest rated starter among the defensive players was Whit Weeks. And, I mean, this play is the one where it was the point in the game where it felt the worst. Not that there were many bad feelings in this game, but it was the point in the game where it felt the worst. LSU had dominated this football game every way. Time of possession, the yardstick, all of it. They scored on every possession of the first half except the one where they ran out the clock at the end of the first half. And despite that, you're in a one-score game and you punt on your first possession of the second half. And you punt because penalties were your undoing again. And on the first play of that drive, where, despite, again, LSU's dominating the game, yet Arkansas has the ball with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter and a chance to go take the lead. And you're like, this is just, this is this stupid game. This is what happens in this game. And then Whit Weeks called game.
First down and 10. Arkansas will start scrimmaging from their own 14-yard line. Taylon Green, quick fire, deflected in the air. Whit Weeks has it. Whit Weeks on the tip drill with the INT. Stumbles forward. He's down at the Arkansas 3-yard line.
And the next play, Caden Durham would run it in for the touchdown. LSU, at that point, got the 2-point conversion to Trey'Dez Green. Ball game was over. It's 24-10, and they just piled on 10 more points from there, and that was it. Whit Weeks essentially punctuated the game right there, and no surprise at all that Whit Weeks was your highest-rated player on Pro Football Focus. But the other thing that's so incredible here is your next highest-rated starter was Sage Ryan. And I think it just continues to underscore what I believe is confirmation of what Brian Kelly said after that South Alabama game, where he talked openly, where he said, we've been rolling guys in and out. He said, the time for rolling is done. We're going to look at film, and we're going to decide who our guys are and take 10 days to get ready for Ole Miss. And they've done that. Sage Ryan played 44 defensive snaps. He was your second highest-rated defensive player at 76.4 after only Whit Weeks. And you continue to see this now. Zy Alexander, who wasn't available for you in the opener against USC because he was still coming back from the knee injury. Zy Alexander wasn't targeted in this game. They did not throw the ball to his side once in the entire game. I'm not telling you Zy Alexander is Derek Stingley. But what I'm telling you is they're looking at him and going, he's really good. We think we can make hay on the other side with Stamps. Let's go after him. So Stamps was targeted 4 times. And Stamps did give up the touchdown on that miscommunication where he bid on Taylon Green's fake. But again, Weeks played 46 defensive snaps. By the way, they only ran 51 plays, which is comical in and of itself. And you made wholesale changes late in the ballgame. But Weeks played 41 snaps. Sage Ryan played 44. Zy Alexander played 46. Jordan Gilbert played 46. Major Burns played 42. Ashton Stamps played 46. Remember what Brian Kelly said. The days for rolling guys in is done. We got to commit to our guys. Well, you have now. You know who your guys are. It's Zy and Stamps, and they're playing corner every single snap. Major Burns is your star every single snap. Gilbert and Sage Ryan are your safeties every single snap. Now, Sage went out with an injury. He was replaced by Kylan Jackson. He was replaced by Kylan Jackson. So we know what that next rotation is, like who's next up, but you know who your guys are. And remember, Brian Kelly said early in the season, we don't have anybody we feel like can play 60 snaps. They've thrown that out the window. Clearly, they've identified who the guys are they can trust, who can function within this defense. Blake Baker and the staff have identified who their best guys are and what positions they're best, and you're starting to see it manifest in great defensive results. A lot of people have thrown this out, but I'll say it again. The second half of Ole Miss, overtime in the entire Arkansas game, that's 6 quarters and an overtime period against 2 of the better offenses in the league, and you've allowed 1 touchdown. This defense is outperforming its talent level. You don't have All-Americans, except maybe for Whit Weeks. You don't have first-round draft picks, except for maybe Whit Weeks, on this defense. And they're outperforming their talent because they're executing what their coach is calling. Blake Baker put on a clinic against Bobby Petrino. Blake Baker spanked Bobby Petrino on Saturday night. It was fun to watch. And because that defense is playing the way it is right now, they're playing complementary football that will give your offense a chance to go win any game they play. I'm not saying they're going to win out. I'm not saying they're winning a championship. I'm saying when your defense is playing that way, they give you a chance to beat any team you play. That was not the case a year ago. Clearly, that was not the case a year ago. And it's illustrated here in some of these PFF grades. If you're looking at the bottom, Greg Penn, Ashton Stamps, Gio Paez were among the bottom-rated players, the starters. But even still, man, you're getting a lot of productivity out of these guys. And your stars are playing like stars. Whit Weeks, Zy Alexander, your best players are playing the best. Braden Swinson was the third highest-rated starter. Even though he didn't have a sack, he impacted the game in a lot of ways. He pressured one side of the football. Boy, it's impressive to watch just how quickly Blake Baker has made this defense from literally the worst defense in the history of the program to one that gives you a chance to win any game you play. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with locations from sea to shining. See if you weigh or measure something. Michelli sells, services, rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. Start at the website. It's a great resource, Michelli.com, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-I, Michelli.com. You need ISO 17025 accredited calibration. They can do that for you. You go to the website. You can hit the calibration tab. You'll see all the different types of calibration they offer. You can request a quote. You can ship your equipment to them. They can come to you and pick up your equipment if that's more convenient. If you need calibration on site, they can do that as well with their mobile calibration lab. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Okay, it's After Further Review. Peter Burns, 15 minutes when we come back. Should the New Orleans Saints trade Alvin Kamara? Kamara said he ain't asked for a trade. I want to look at the other side of the coin. We'll do it next. AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or on social media at getgordon. We told you last week they dropped a new video of Will Campbell gator hunting. If you haven't seen that yet, they were down in Lockport. Took Will Campbell out on a boat. I don't know when they shot this, but it's a really good video, man. A very large human pulling a very large reptile out of the water. Go to getgordon.com or go to @getgordon on any of the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You'll see all the content there. And, of course, if you go to gordongives.com, it's a charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, the law firm. They have a link for all of the G team videos that they've done. Grubbing with G, riding with G, all the fun videos they've done. You can see it. And right now it's the Get Outdoors with Get Gordon. You can see all those videos at gordongives.com. But if you've been injured, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it.
Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Congratulations to Kevin Heltz Sr. from Baton Rouge. Kevin is the Week 8 winner in our 2024 Pick'em Contest. Wins a Hooters wing party for 10 people. Don't forget to make your picks for round 9 by Thursday at noon. Weekly winners will receive a Hooters wing party for 10 people, and the first place season-long champion will receive a 75-inch 4K flat-screen TV and soundbar, plus free Hooters wings for an entire year. It's the 2024 College Football Pick'em, presented by Hooters.
Alvin Kamara got a lot of people's attention on Saturday morning, just before the noon kickoffs. I guess this would have been during the 11 a.m. Central window. Alvin Kamara tweeted, "I request a trade, so that's a lie. I'm in an orange robe on the way to Knoxville. Hashtag Whodat." Of course, he was on the way to Knoxville to watch Tennessee, the school for which he played, beat Alabama, the school for which he played first. Apparently, the report came from something called FF Formula Nick, who not only has deleted the tweet, he's also deleted his Twitter altogether. Because Kamara went and quote tweeted FF Formula Nick, the tweet about him saying Alvin Kamara has formally requested a trade. Kamara went and quote tweeted it and said, "Incorrect," and then went on to go on and answer several more tweets, because Alvin Kamara is awesome and I love him very much, and I'm so glad that he's a New Orleans Saint and has spent his career here, and I hope he plays the rest of his career here, although I don't think that's what's best. He even replied, quote tweeted a Nick Underhill tweet where Nick tweeted, "If anything, Alvin Kamara would like to find a way to finish his career here, meaning in New Orleans." Kamara quote tweeted and said, "Correct." He even had a tweet about Michael Thomas and letting Michael Thomas break the news if he were going to leave or something like that. Anyway, I love Alvin Kamara. He's great energy, always smiling, except when the team isn't good, obviously. But he's been great for the city. He's been an awesome player, and I love him. He's one of my favorite Saints of all time. The fan in me is saying that. But I can have a great appreciation for him as well as someone who analyzes and covers the team. So, I look at it, though, and the trade deadline is 2 weeks from Tuesday. And I kind of keep thinking, like, all right, Kamara's debunked this. He hasn't requested a trade. But my thought is, should the Saints trade Alvin Kamara? I mean, the Saints are going nowhere. They're 2-5. And they're littered with injuries. You're going to get healthier, but what really are you going to be playing for when you get healthier? Like, the Saints this week are a 6.5-point underdog at the Chargers. Chargers play Monday Night Football, so the Chargers will be on a short week. The Saints will be on a long week, and you're still a touchdown underdog. It's the NFL. Anything can happen, and I understand you're going to get healthier. But if you go lose this game and you fall to 2-6, what really are you playing for? I guess I could look at it through the lens of the Saints to say, okay, Atlanta lost on Sunday, got blown out. If Tampa loses on Monday Night Football to Baltimore, Now, those two teams are just 2 games ahead of you. Now, they do have, with 10 to play, now they do have the tiebreaker currently, but you play each of them again, Atlanta and Tampa. And you have Carolina coming up a week from Sunday. So if you're trying to look at the glass half full, you say if Tampa loses tonight, even if you lose to the Chargers, you could say, all right, well, you're going to go to Carolina. If you win that game, you're 3-6. And if Tampa and Atlanta lose, you're just 2 games back, and you play them each, and you have 9 games to go, and maybe you could make hay, or 8 games to go after the Carolina game, excuse me. Like, there's a way to make up 2 games, especially when you play each of the 2 teams ahead of you still. You could. I don't think that's realistic. I would assume many of you don't as well. But the way the Saints have operated, they continue to double down and trying to win now and thinking they are still a contender, which I don't think many of us think they actually are. The other part of this, too, is Kamara's contract. If you were really going to look at trading Alvin Kamara, he's got a $29 million cap hit for next year. But remember, none of it's guaranteed. So, in essence, he really doesn't have a contract for next year, which is why Kamara wanted a contract extension this offseason. This is effectively a prove-it year. He's got nothing guaranteed for next year. The Saints do carry a $10.1 million dead cap number for next year, but his cap number is 29. So if he was on the roster under this contract, he'd count $29 million against the cap, but his dead number would be 10. So, of course, you'd let him walk, or you'd cut him or trade him or whatever, so as to save $19 million against the cap. Or you could sign him to an extension and modify this deal so that dead cap number is irrelevant. So if you're the Saints, do you extend him? Do you trade him? Whatever the case may be. As much as it pains me to say this, I think the Saints should trade Alvin Kamara. He is one of the few players on your roster that has trade value and has a contract that another team could assume because of your out after this season. Whoever you would trade him to would effectively pay him for half a year, and then after this season, they could make a decision if they wanted to re-sign him long-term, or Kamara could hit free agency and play, sign the best deal for him somewhere else. But you could trade him to a contender and get an asset. And the team they should trade him to is the Kansas City Chiefs. Hear me out. Kansas City is undefeated. They're the only undefeated team left in the NFL. They just won at San Francisco. And they are doing it on the backs of a really good defense from Steve Spagnuolo and an opportunistic offense that is void largely of playmakers. Hollywood Brown's injured. Isaac Pacheco's injured. Rashee Rice is injured. Juju missed this last week with a hamstring injury. Like, all the playmakers that Kansas City had are gone. Travis Kelce is a shell of what he was. If nothing else, Alvin Kamara has proven through the first 7 weeks of this season, there's a lot of tread still left on those tires. And if you put him in an offense that needs playmakers, that would make sense. He immediately makes Kansas City better. I'd trade him to the Chiefs. And if Devontae Adams just got a 3 that was conditional that could become a 2, there's no reason to think you couldn't trade Alvin Kamara to Kansas City for an early day 3 pick. Could you get a 4 for Alvin Kamara? Maybe not. Maybe that's too rich. But Devontae Adams is a 31-year-old, aging receiver whose all-pro days are 2 years behind, and they just got a 3 for him. That can conditionally become a 2. Now, I don't think he's going to be an all-pro, so I don't think it's going to become a 2. It's going to be a 3. But could you get a 5 or maybe conditional 4, conditional 3? I mean, that's worth making the call because the Saints are an aging roster with a bunch of bad contracts. If you have an opportunity to gain more assets to allow you to get younger and more affordable, you do it. The only way you keep Alvin Kamara is if you think he's helping you win now, and you're not winning now. So if you have assets for which you could trade to get future assets, this is the time you do it. And I think the only way the Saints realistically look at that, however, is if they lose the next 2 weeks. If you lose to the Chargers, fall to 2-6, and then lose at Carolina to fall 2-7, it's really over. And then the trade deadline comes 2 days after that Carolina game. I think it hinges on that. I think the Saints are going to lose at the Chargers, and this will come down to what happens against Carolina. If they lose and fall to 2-7, I think the Saints will be sellers. And there aren't many players you could sell, but Kamara is one of them. And I think you should give him a chance to go win. And Kansas City, I think, is the place to do it. All right, it's After Further Review. Peter Burns, SEC Network next. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Y'all get on by to Rouse's. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Don't feel like cooking after the weekend? Just pop on into Rouse's. They got tons of grab-and-go options. Go to their hot and boiled kiosk. You want some boiled shrimp, some boiled crabs. Got them. If you want, crab legs. Maybe you're into some Asian tonight. How about grab-and-go sushi? They got it at Rouse's. Their Asian bowls are fantastic. I love the teriyaki bowls with the fried rice. Amazing. So everyone in the family could have something different. They got fried chicken. They got the salad bar. They got the meat market. You can make your own plate with whatever meat, whatever sides you want. Of course, if you're making groceries, get on by Rouse's. Hey, remember, download the Rouse's app. They got the curbside pickup options where your personal shopper will pick out your items for you, bring it to the car. They think of everything. It's Rouse's.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters. This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense, throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With editions of the SEC Network, presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
I don't know if that'll ever get old. I hope it never gets old. Peter Burns, how are you, dude?
I'm just trying to think of how good of a day you're having. Alabama loses the way that they did, and LSU plays arguably the best that they've looked in a long time. Like this is. I mean, there's Christmas in today's show, and I'm not sure which one is first in your life.
That's a great point. Actually, Muse, have we heard yet from the dry cleaner? Pete, we got some dry cleaning being delivered. I need my dry cleaning here before the end of the show. Muse is keeping tabs. Anything, Muse?
We're working on it. Maybe a bit of a snafu over there at the cleaners, but we feel okay about it. We just gotta.
Okay, I need my dry cleaning here before the end of the show.
I don't want to be associated with whatever bit you're doing later that needs that dry cleaning. I just know that can't wait to see it online later.
Let's just say we're hopeful that in 25 minutes or so,
oh boy,
they might get here. We're hopeful.
Okay.
Not confirmed, but hopeful. Hey, Pete, tell me how bad Alabama is at football, please.
Good Lord. I mean, it is just it is the blood is in the water, and then everybody's just circling, right? Like for the longest time, they've been this great white shark, and then just ferocious playing this joyless murder ball, and then now it's it's like watching a Von Drago at the end of the day, like just bloodied and bruised. Everybody's just like lining up to take a shot, and I thought the interesting part of it too is whenever you listen to Kalen DeBoer, I appreciated his honesty, but he's like, listen, like, we're not meshing. Like, offense is not talking to each other real well. The defense is not talking to each other. Like, I'm trying to figure out. And it was one of those deals for 15 years. No matter what happened, you knew that whatever chaos would happen, you would look over there and see Nick Saban, and Saban would be like, all right, this is how we're going to fix it. Come over here. Like the Godfather. And now it's not Fredo by any means, but it's not the same as the Don.
How many more do you think they're going to lose, Pete?
Well, I mean, they're going to lose to LSU in Tiger Stadium. The question is, it's this week at Missouri, or at home against Missouri. I can't figure out Missouri. Like I know what Alabama is. Alabama is a team in transition trying to figure it out, and they are as explosive as anybody in these like microwavable moments. Like you saw South Florida, you saw the first quarter against Georgia where they're caught flat-footed. But outside of that, they're a hot pocket. That's what Alabama is, a hot pocket. Like sometimes, like it's frozen on the outside and then it's like piping hot on the inside. you have no idea when you put it out in the microwave what meal you're going to get right now. Like, I mean, right now Missouri is. I don't know what they are. I mean, Brady Cook comes out of the hospital in some like Disney movie that says, "I only got 2.5 more games to play at Faurot Field. Get me on the field." They roll him out there like Hugh Freeze when he was in the hospital bed, and then he goes out and wins the damn game. I mean, like, that was awesome.
I forgot about Hugh Freeze in the hospital. It was like the dental chair. They had him in
Remember the thumbs up? Remember he did the thumbs up from the hospital bed laying down? My man coached from a hospital bed. These are things. Bobby Petrino coaches in the SEC again. These are things we deal with in the world of college football in 2024.
I love it so much.
Vanderbilt is ranked higher than Alabama in the SEC standings. They're tied for 8th.
At the end,
They're tied for 8th.
Pete, at the end of October. That's the context that matters. Yes. It's not like it's a fluke week 1 thing.
They had a play in which 2 Alabama wide receivers pretended to take a jump shot in order to like disguise a sneak. This is the things that they've resorted to.
It's so good.
Wild.
I know. Hey, why was everybody so dumb and they thought Georgia was bad?
Not me. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen in the game, but I had ultimately picked Georgia in that game for no other reason that I did see Texas. I thought Texas was good. I just don't think that they had played anybody. We love to get punch drunk on the new thing. And really what it comes down to it is that if you don't have a mobile quarterback, you don't have a chance against Georgia in this defense, especially now that they're starting to gel together. I mean, they've won 50-some-odd games against everybody other than Alabama.
I know.
And the Alabama losses that they had were to mobile quarterbacks that had a way to run the ball. Like, if you're a pocket passing quarterback, you don't have a chance. That's why Sark ended up going with Arch out of pure desperation. Like, I can't do anything different with this guy.
By the way, to your point, very astute by Peter Burns. ESPN's FPI, they've updated strength of schedule rankings. Georgia, number 1 in the country, strength of schedule. Texas, 15th in the SEC, 51st in the country. Only Missouri has played a weaker schedule than Texas.
I mean, Michigan, which was their marquee win, but that was on brand alone. I mean, now we know that Michigan's not even a top 25 team. And so it's not good. But then again, I don't know what Missouri is. I mean, it reminds me of NFL Sundays again. I will tell you this, Chris Doering had a little pep in his step with the Florida Gators. I mean, listen, hope is a great currency in college football, and they feel like they found something against Kentucky.
Kentucky's poop, but Florida is very much alive. And they've got an open date this week, Florida does. Are they, like, give me your 10,000-foot view on Florida right now, as, boy, it sure looks, P, like Billy Napier's doing his damnedest to save his job.
Well, I mean, they should be 5-2. If Billy hadn't been, I mean, if he goes for 2 against Tennessee and they hit it, then he's 5-2, and we're looking at this being a whole hell of a lot different. Like, yeah, they laid an egg in one of their games, but then the other one was losing to Cam Ward in Miami right for the jump, and that looks to be a pretty decent team right now. I think they're a little overrated, but I think he's definitely good. So, yeah, I mean, they've got some wiggle to them. There's no doubt. I mean, the question is how bad do they get destroyed against Jacksonville? I mean, they would honestly be better off playing this week against Georgia and keeping that momentum rather than, losing all the momentum they have and taking a week off and then going to Georgia. I mean, like, Kirby's going to get, 10 days to prepare for a true freshman quarterback? How do you think that's going to play?
Yeah. But he is mobile, to your point, though, about Georgia defenses. Yep. So, but, it's interesting, Pete, as we look at Florida, they're 4-3. But
hey, real quick. Jalen Milroe went back for 50 passes. He dropped back 50 times. I just want to make sure you knew that. I just came to mind because I know you like to dunk on him. Alabama played Texas Tech, Graham Harrell, Mike Leach football last week.
I'm writing that down. Just in case if my dry cleaning shows up on time, I want to make sure that I write that one down too. So let's see, 50 passes from Milroe.
50 dropbacks. I think that ultimately there was a couple runs in there, but I think it was like 40. 50. He had 20 incompletions.
Yeah, that was a career high in completions. And he also, according to like the metrics, had 10 miss passes, like bad throws to open receivers. He missed 10 open receivers. He stinks. He's a very good athlete. He's got a strong arm. He is not a good quarterback. Right. He is an inaccurate passer, makes bad decisions with the football. He stinks. He's just not a good quarterback. Okay, what is Peter Burns, SEC Network, with us courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com. What is LSU?
I mean, golly, I love this team now. And I'm just like, I have not, like, it's almost like you just sit there and go, like, I'm not mad. I just don't want to get my heart broken and get my hopes up. But that was a game that worried me. I mean, this 2-game stretch in Fayetteville and, of course, in Kyle Field, more so than the game against Alabama and Baton Rouge here in a couple of weeks. But they just looked complete. I mean, Weeks is a damn man. I mean, that guy is an absolute, like, I mean, I saw people talking about it, but they're right. He's Honey Badger. He does not give a flying you-know-what, and he just has that attitude. And I can't remember the last time LSU had an attitude on defense, and they're starting to find it. They get it with Caden Durham and how well he runs the ball. Like, and I think it was important to win that game in a game that Nuss threw 0 touchdowns. Like, this was just like a different type of win.
Good point.
Like, there's a different way to win games, and Dominic Petrino, who's been calling great offenses all season long, he had 10 days to prepare for that, or at least more, and that's what they put up. That makes me feel great.
You got a feeling on the game this week at Kyle Field?
I don't, not yet. I mean, it's the problem is, yeah, I just don't. I mean, I know that's bad radio, and I'm supposed to be like, give us a hot take, but I really don't, because this A&M game kind of just frightens me because it's 6:30. Now, the thing that helps is that Mississippi State had some success against them, and Connor Wigman, again, just, threw 2 bad interceptions. So, it's a matter of if this defensive front, which Blake Baker's got playing really high right now, are they going to go after him? And if so, can you stop Le'Veon Bell?
Hey, you were in Norman this weekend, yeah?
Dude, it was 21-0 before people even parked.
Bro.
It was 9 sacks by 9 different guys. This South Carolina team is legit, especially defensively.
LSU's win in Columbia, coming back from down 17, keeps looking better. But
yeah,
I would love just a quick thought on Oklahoma, because my take on that has been, man, y'all finding out there's no Kansas in the SEC. Like, there is no off week in the SEC. They already fired Seth Luttrell, their OC. I mean, what is salvageable there? What is going on there?
I don't know. And now you have to go to Jackson Arnold, because he had his 4-game redshirt rule. They basically pulled him off after Hawkins was terrible. So I can't imagine them not going back to Jackson Arnold. I mean, they have to find something. And now a bunch of these wide receivers who have been banged up, you're getting deep into the season of a lost season, that some of them are going to go, you know what? I might just keep my 4-game red shirt. Like, do I really want to work and come back? And then when I can keep my red shirt and maybe come back another season when I'm healthy, or transfer? I mean, it's not the hot seat, but I had multiple people come up to me during this game, and they're like, is this what SEC football is like every single week? And I was like, bro, South Carolina is like the 9th best team in this conference. Like, this is a different world. You're not ready for this life right now.
Peter Burns is always ready for this life, and we love having him. At Peter Burns, ESPN, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com. You're the best. Thanks so much. Tell Tiger Joe we love him.
I hope you get your dry cleaning. Let me know if you do.
We'll get a check on the dry cleaning. I think my dry cleaning should be here in about 15 minutes. Should be. If it's not, we got a problem.
I'm excited.
Okay. Thanks, Peter.
All right, bye.
We'll see
bye.
you. Brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Kill mold, remove odor, patented non-toxic dry fog. It's clean, safe, sanitizing your home, office space, schools, churches, medical facilities. Give them a call. Log on to ParishBuilt.com. Hit the restoration tab, ParishBuilt.com. And it is efficient and it is affordable, especially compared to other traditional remediation methods. Not cutting sheetrock, any of that sort of stuff. You need to check it out. You can see the full U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report on the technology, or just call Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Parish Restoration. Go to ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com, hit the restoration tab. Parish Restoration. Okay, final break of hour number 2. Muse is going to get a check on my dry cleaning to see if it's actually en route. Should be here any minute now. And we'll do Tigers and the Pros next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel, the Renaissance Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Y'all, we're inching closer to holiday time. Thanksgiving is around the bend. Of course, Christmas will be here before you know it. Got family coming in town. Make sure they know about the Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. The Watermark, voted by you, the best hotel in Baton Rouge and the best of 225 awards. And, of course, the Renaissance, which is right there on Bluebonnet, where LSU stays on the Fridays before home football games. So if you got people coming in from out of town, you want a little staycation, go downtown Baton Rouge, stay at the Watermark. Maybe like you got an open date coming up for LSU. How about you just go stay at downtown at the Watermark, dine at the Gregory, enjoy cocktails at their amazing lobby bar, people watch. They've also got Milford's on 3rd, which is a casual sort of sandwich shop there, also in the Watermark Hotel. It's amazing. Baton Rouge's original high-rise building, the old Louisiana National Bank building, gorgeous. The best hotel in Baton Rouge. It's the Watermark Hotel.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Did Judy call yet from the front desk?
She hasn't called yet.
I need my dry cleaning before the show's over, Muse. You said you were on it.
I'm on it. Look,
okay.
I can run down during break and check.
All right. Need my dry cleaning, Muse. But first, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we'll start with Jaden Daniels. If you're watching Commanders and Panthers, you know Daniels went out early in that game with a rib injury, completed just 2 passes, ran the ball just 3 times before going out with that injury. Did not return in the game. Didn't really need him. The Panthers stink. The Commanders dominated. But today, Dan Quinn did give the update. More testing done on Daniels, and he is officially week to week with the rib injury. Not clear if he'll miss any time, but week to week. We'll keep you posted as we go through said week. The Jacksonville Jaguars kicked off the NFL day in London. Brian Thomas.
Dude.
5 receptions on 5 targets. That's pretty good when you don't let the ball hit the ground. 89 yards and a touchdown along of 58. Doesn't stink. New Jersey swapped with Kayshon Boutte after the game.
Hey.
How about that? Kayshon with 1 grab for 33 yards in the ball game. Joey B. Solid day for Joey B. 181 through the air. 2 tuds, no picks. They got a big win that they desperately needed. Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 55 yards and a score.
Got him a
in
tutty.
the game. Got him a tutty.
They needed that win.
They did.
I needed that win as well.
Yes. That was another one of the another hit there for Football Sunday. Justin Jefferson, the Vikings. That was a great football game. On the wrong side, but a great football game. 7 receptions for Jefferson, 81 yards and a score in that ball game. You love to see that happen for him. And then if you were watching Texans Packers, you would have seen a solid outing again from Danielle Hunter on the defensive side of the ball. Another sack, another TFL. He's just all over the place. Also had 2 more hits on the quarterback. Made life pretty miserable for Jordan Love. A couple more here. Don't want to leave the segment without mentioning Arden Key. Arden Key, 2 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss for him, and an additional hit on the quarterback. He's quietly turning in a great season in Tennessee. And then, of course, if you were watching Sunday Night Football last night, you saw plenty of LSU guys. Jalen Mills, the one we're going to highlight, though, 8 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass defense for the Jets. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know where to find them. 9 locations in all, 2 in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard, right there in Bocage, Mall of Louisiana, but Lafayette, New Orleans, Shreveport, an amazing local Louisiana business that is just that perfect sweet spot. I mean, the cookie cutter big box stores, no interest. The boutique shops are fine, but you're not going to have the selection and you're probably going to overpay. Lee Michaels is that perfect sweet spot where they have what you want. If they don't, they can get it or they'll make it for you. They'll always give you great value and a beautiful diamond every time. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, Saints work out a wide receiver, and I got to check on my dry cleaning.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Evermore. Got mine right here. Why would I ever spend a day without my Evermore? So I was at an event, and I think I've become a water snob. Evermore has turned me into a water snob. I was at an event, and they had bottled water there, which wasn't Evermore. And naturally, I wanted water, so I drank it. It's like when you watch HD TV for the first time. Like, you can never go back to standard def. It's kind of like that when you become accustomed to drinking a superior product, something that is natural artesian water, that is refreshing and smooth and tastes great, and then you drink something that's not Evermore. The contrast is so stark. Find out for yourself. Next time you're at the store, grab some Evermore.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. The 49ers have gotten the bad news they were expecting. Further tests confirmed receiver Brandon Ayuk has a torn ACL. His season is over. The season's also over for Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. MRI revealed he's got a ruptured right Achilles. Third time in as many years Watson's season's ended early due to suspension or injuries. And there's a chance he's played his final game in Cleveland, says ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
He's got to come back. Wasn't playing great. He's going to have the surgery done on the Achilles. And they're going to have some decisions to make at that position. First of all, are you telling me that the Browns aren't going to go into the offseason and go place a high priority on drafting a quarterback as high as possible? Of course they are.
Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee Show. The Dolphins aiming for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to return from a concussion Sunday against the Cardinals. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels week to week with a rib injury could play Sunday against the Bears. Seahawks receiver DK Metcalf, grade 1 sprain of the MCL week to week. NBA Magic signing guard Jalen Suggs, 5 years, $150 million extension.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Open the show today talking about LSU's win over Arkansas. Former Saint offensive lineman James Hurst was here in hour 1 as well. I still want to talk about the Saints working out Marquez Valdez-Scantling today. We'll get to that here in about 15 minutes right now. Muse?
Yeah. What's up? Mm-hmm.
You told me my dry cleaning was going to be here right now. You said 5 p.m. Central. The start of hour 3. It is 5:03.
I went down in the break. I didn't see it. Hold on. Miss Judy just texted. I got it. Hold on. I got it.
It's here. Okay. My dry cleaning. You're certain it's here? Positive. Okay. Muse is going to get my dry cleaning. It is imperative, dear friend, that I have my dry cleaning. And Muse just skedaddled out of here. And I don't know if he had to go down to the front. Paul, did he have to go to the front, or were they bringing it up the elevator? Your mic's up. That's okay. Look at Muse. Well, thank you. Now, excuse me for just a brief moment. I'm going to take my headphones off. I'm going to need some help from Muse. If you're listening, not watching, I would highly recommend you go find YouTube or WBTR right now. Excuse me. Excuse me, if I could, real quick. Muse, help me out, if you would, a little bit here. Help me out there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, one and look at that.
That collar fix.
Look how we looking, huh?
I like it.
Huh? Yeah. We good? Yeah. Huh? Like a glove, eh? Like a glove, eh?
Like a glove.
All right, like a glove. Tell you what, it does fit. It does fit good, doesn't it? Doesn't it look good?
It does. I like it. That's a really, really good look.
Nice. You like this jacket that I've got?
I do. Yeah, it kind of.
Now, do you see, Muse, why I was so hell-bent on getting my dry cleaning?
Yeah, I mean, you look
before the
sharp.
end of the show?
I mean, it's kind of like a...
It really dresses up the show, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes it a little more formal looking, actually.
A little formal.
What kind of jacket do you think this is,
I mean,
Muse?
it looks kind of like one of those good old, like, leisure, like, Hugh Hefner smoking jackets, you might say.
Did you say a smoker's jacket?
I did.
You know, Muse, there's a... you're a college football fan, right?
I am.
There's a rivalry in college football where the winners smoke something.
Yeah. Like a cigar.
Yeah. What game is that where the winner does that?
It's third Saturday in October at Alabama and Tennessee.
Oh, well, wasn't Saturday the third Saturday in October?
It was.
Oh, so I would assume the winning team smoked cigars, didn't they?
They did.
Huh. Hey, Muse. I was busy on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, whiskey and wine.
Yeah.
LSU game day.
Yep.
LouisianaSports.net. A lot going on, Muse.
A lot of content.
I mean, it's really hard for me to pay attention to what's going on in and around the world of college football other than the team I'm covering every day. Who won that game, Muse?
That would be the Tennessee Volunteers
You don't say.
Won that game. Yes, they did.
Tennessee beat Alabama?
They did. 21-17.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the final score.
Was that a bit of an upset?
Yeah, I mean, Alabama was favored in the game, so it was actually an upset, yes.
Man. So what you're telling me is Tennessee got to light some cigars?
They did.
Huh. Well, it's a good thing, Muse. I happen to have one right here.
There we go.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah?
Tell Gordy I'm lighting a cigar in the studio.
We'll let him know.
Tell him I'm not just... Oh, I love this. Crank that up a little bit, Muse, if you would. No, we're not just biting on it, Muse. Hey, Muse?
Yeah.
I lied.
Huh?
I did watch that game. I watched every stinking play of that game, you bums! Keep that going. I want that a little bit more. I watched every stinking play of that game. And I also watched those lame-ass Tennessee fans struggle to light their cigars.
That was rough.
I mean, kid, at least practice. I mean, I get it. It's been a long... No, it actually hasn't been.
No, it hasn't.
It's actually... You know what? Woo! I tell you what, Muse. This cigar from Bocock Brothers, the official cigar of LSU Athletics, by the way, it is delicious. But it tastes even better when I wash it down with the tears of all you Alabama losers. I love this song, but give me my song. Give me my song. You know what's coming right now. It's coming straight up your donkey. For 9 months now, I have been telling you this is your new reality. You didn't want to hear it. You called me every name in the book. You called me bald, which I am. You called me fat, Lost a lot of weight. You're going after my family. You've tried to make it about LSU, which it's never been. It's always been about anyone but you. You know, Tennessee fans struggled to light their cigars. But had this game been played at Bryant Dennehy Stadium, it would have been easy. All they would have had to do was just hold it out. And the flames rising from the burning rubble of Bryant Dennehy Stadium in Tuscaloosa would be plenty enough to light this cigar or every cigar of all the 107,000 orange-clad lunatics inside of Neyland Stadium on Saturday. Your dynasty is over. Your program has lost to Tennessee 2 of the last 3 years. Which also Tennessee. That's why it's embarrassing you couldn't light your cigars. You got to do this just 2 years ago on your home field. Do you know the last time Tennessee won 2 out of 3 against Alabama? Do you, Muse?
I don't.
They won 10 out of 12 from 1995 until 2006. You know what happened the next year, do you, Muse?
I do. Nick Saban
arrived and made his deal with the devil. And like I've told you before, the devil has come to collect. You lost to Vanderbilt. You lost to Tennessee. Do you realize since that lucky win against Georgia where you thought I was the one out in left field, I was the one who was wrong. You're 1-2. Your only win is at home by 2 points against South Carolina with a quarterback who wears rec specs. You should have lost that one too. Smoke 'em, balls. Smoke 'em good. Your quarterback stinks. I've been telling you that too for 2 years. He was 25 of 45. Jalen Milroe had 20 incomplete passes, the most of his career in a single game. He was charted with 10 misses of open receivers. I've told you before. Put him at running back. Great athlete, strong arm, can't play a lick of quarterback. He's inaccurate. He was bailed out by a freak show freshman wide receiver. Just because you underthrow a deep ball and a freak show receiver makes a catch and it looks good on your stat sheet as a 75-yard touchdown, it doesn't mean you did a damn thing. Jalen Milroe dropped back 50 times. Alabama went for a 4th down conversion. Did you see what their receivers did?
What'd they do?
They faked like they were shooting jump shots to try to distract the defense. You know what Alabama of yesteryear used to do? They'd give it to Derrick Henry, he looks like a freaking linebacker, and say, hey, go run over all 11 guys in his path. Now they got wide receivers shooting jump shots. What an absolute disgrace. What a disgrace you are. What a disgrace your coach is. What an absolute laughingstock you've become and will continue to be. I was told that on Sunday morning there was a for sale sign not only in front of Kalen DeBoer's house, but of the realtor who sold Kalen DeBoer his house. How dare you? The $1 Million Band, you heard of them, Muse?
I've heard of them.
Now they're going for $650 or the best offer. I really do love this cigar. From Bocock Brothers, Premium Cigars, the official cigar of LSU Athletics. Hey, Muse, guess what else I heard?
What else did you hear?
You know who Alabama's playing this week?
Who?
They're playing Missouri. At home. They got to hand out lyrics to Rammer Jammer to the students because none of them know it. They don't get to sing it enough. I tried to tell you. I told you, and I told you again. All of you kept throwing clown emojis at me. I welcomed you to your Les Miles era, and you didn't want to believe it. And here you are, with Kalen Miles on your sideline in his dry fit t-shirts like he just got done with a workout at Curves. That's your coach. Welcome to your new reality. Kalen DeBover. You get it? Capital with the O. Husky Harson roaming the sidelines for you. What I would have given to be there on Rocky Top Saturday Muse to smoke this fine premium Bocock Brothers cigar, the official cigar of LSU Athletics, inside of Neyland Stadium as the Crimson Tears fell. Don't you let Missouri go into Bryant-Dennehy Stadium and win this weekend. Don't you let it happen. Oh, don't you let it happen. You let Missouri go in there and win. You'll be wanting me to be your head coach. I got one more for you. Husky Harson, your coach. Coach for a long time, hadn't he, Muse?
Long time.
Won a lot of games, they say, hadn't he, Muse?
A lot of games.
Can win at any level, that's what they say, right, Muse?
That's what I heard.
How about this one for you, Muse?
Give it to me.
In his entire career, Husky Harson, Kalen DeBover, when his teams fail to score more than 17 points, in his entire, not this year, Muse, in his entire career, how many times do you think Husky Harson's won a game when his teams fail to score over 17?
Twice.
Once.
Oh.
Welcome to your new reality. A reality where you give up 40 points to Vanderbilt. A reality where Tennessee routinely storms the field and smokes cigars in your face. A reality where you have to worry about playing Missouri. A reality where your dual threat quarterback has 50 dropbacks. A reality where your best quarterback is now the quarterback at Pittsburgh. A reality where you are no longer feared. A reality where everyone knows there's blood in the water and they're coming for it. A reality where the anybody but Bama mantra is not only a wish upon a star, it is the new college football reality. You won a championship in the fake COVID season. Congrats, hang the banner, just like the Lakers won their Summer League championship down in Disney. 3 seasons have passed, no title. You're not winning it this year, that'll be 4. Or next year, that'll be 5. Or the year after that, that'll be 6. And your reality will continue to sink in as you fall farther into the depths of depression and irrelevance. Because I've told you, Nick Saban made a deal with the devil. And the time has come to pull it.
AFR.
Brought by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. I'll acknowledge this is the most absurd live read I've ever done. I'm doing a Darren James live read while holding a lit cigar in this studio with flames on the back screen, and I'm wearing a ridiculous smoker's jacket. But I do like this smoker's jacket. You know who would love this smoker's jacket? Darren James. He's a very supportive guy. He's a great friend. And he would say, Scone, I love that. He would say, Double M, Scone Meister. Y'all love telling you about Darren James every day. There's a reason for his success. I laud Darren all the time for being on the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America, number 13 in the country, number 1 in Louisiana. And the reason, of course, is because he's a tireless worker. He outworks everybody. I work a lot. He makes me look lazy. But he's got the systems, the processes in place, and he's an amazing guy that does right by people, and they know that. That's why they continue to refer him. He's the best. It's Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
I rode along here. Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Glad to have you. We get to our college football takeaways in about 10 minutes. Otter will be here for Otter Locks. By the way, Otter Locks are already posted over at LouisianaSports.net. So if you want Jimmy's bets, 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. By the way, Muse, I texted Otter last night. I was like, hey, man, we got a sprinkle on Sunday Night Football. He had Pittsburgh, so give the man his due.
There we go, Otter.
Had Pittsburgh. Gave us the Mets, which did not hit. But then he also threw a little Minnesota Lynx plus 5.5 action at me. I said, my guys got me a WNBA play on a Sunday night. Game went to overtime. The Liberty won by 5.
Oh, the hook. How about the hook?
Love it. That was a good one. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. So we got word over the weekend that the New Orleans Saints were bringing Marquez Valdes-Scantling, the wide receiver, in for a workout. And just within the last 15 minutes or so, we've now gotten word that the Saints have agreed to terms with Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Jeremy Fowler over at ESPN is the first that I saw had it. Others might have, but this is the first one I saw. Veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling agreed to term with the Saints, got his physical with the team this morning, hopes to get started on the game plan soon. So It's an obvious need for New Orleans. They were going to have to go add a veteran wide receiver because of Rashid Shaheed being done for the year. Even with Chris Olave coming back off the protocol, which we all hope is this week and that he'll be ready to go. You can't go through the remainder of the season with Chris Olave and then your number 2 being either Mason Tipton or Bub Means. You got to find somebody. And I'll tell you, the thing that I like a lot about Marquez Valdes-Scantling is, yes, he's a veteran receiver. He's 30 years old, so he's been around the league a little bit. But he played for Green Bay, so he played with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. His best season was back in the COVID year. He averaged 20.1 yards per reception. 20.9, nearly 21 yards per reception. And he had 690 receiving yards. So he's not a guy that you're going to look at and say, oh, he's a 1. But he also spent the last 2 years, 2022, 2023, with Kansas City Chiefs. And that, of course, means he spent the last year on the last 2 Super Bowl winning teams. And one of the biggest things that I think the Saints have a problem with right now is a lack of winning culture. Let me just clarify. There are some veteran players on this team that were part of good Saints teams. Cameron Jordan, Alvin Kamara, DeMario Davis. These were guys that were on a team that hosted an NFC Championship game in 2018. But this is a roster now that you're going on 4 years not making the playoffs. Overwhelmingly, these players do not know what it's like to be a contender. Anytime you can infuse a veteran that has won on a roster, I'm very much in favor of that. And that's what Marquez Valdes-Scantling can bring. I'm not expecting him to show up and go challenge to be your number 1. Look, he spent this season in Buffalo where he played 6 games, had just 2 receptions on 9 targets and no touchdowns. So not very impactful. But the 2 years prior, look at his numbers in Kansas City. In 2022, he had 42 catches for 687 and 2 touchdowns. That was his second best season ever. Last year in Kansas City, 21 receptions for 315 and 1 score. So his productivity dropped a season ago, but he's not that far removed from being a player that could be a competent, if not impactful, wide receiver. And because he's a veteran, you would also anticipate that he would be able to seamlessly assemble and assimilate into this offense. Now, Dennis Allen met with reporters on Monday. Again, this was before the news broke that they were signing Marquez Valdes-Scantling. But this was first just about how the visit went.
Have you all already had the visit with Marquez Valdes-Scantling?
Or at least there was a visit that was...
He's here right now. Yeah.
What was it that stood out to you about him?
I had a good workout this morning. I mean, ran around pretty good. I'm going to visit with him here in just a minute as soon as we get done. So, but yeah, I think so far it's been a good visit.
They followed up and asked why it would be a good fit with MVS.
He's played in our league. He's a bigger receiver, got a good speed element to him. I think he's somebody that, can fit some of the things that we, might be needing, in particular with the loss of Shaheed, another speed element, I think, is something that we would consider.
The other thing that's maybe most important there to remember is he's free. And what I mean by free, obviously you're going to pay him, veteran minimum or whatever the contract may be, but you signed him off the street. It would be it'd be very different if you were trading for a receiver right now. That's the difficult part. Where if you were looking at a player that were on another team that were available before the trade deadline and you went and gave up an asset for a player. The only way that I think the Saints at this point should be buyers instead of sellers would be if they felt like they were contenders. Now, if the Saints go win in LA and then go win in Carolina, and then you wake up in 2 weeks and you're 4-5, then 2 days before the trade deadline, and then you got a game against Atlanta to get to 500 and potentially pull them even with you, then I could see saying, okay, we're back in it, if in 2 weeks it looks like that. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. That's my opinion. And I think many of you share that opinion. But right now, if you can improve your roster and add a veteran player who's won 2 Super Bowls, who's got winning culture in his background, and you can bring him into a young, inexperienced receiver group where Chris Olave is your number 1, but still hasn't been on a team that's made the playoffs. And then after that, you're talking about rookies and Bub Means and Mason Tipton, respect to Cedric Wilson. Yeah, I'm for it. This checks a lot of boxes for what you need. And you are going to get Derek Carr back. Listen, my biggest complaint with the Saints over this losing streak is not the offense. When this offense was healthy, they were good. I don't want to sit here and say that injuries are the only thing to blame. But I don't know that any team could lose their quarterback, whatever they call their version of Taysom Hill, 3 interior linemen, your number 2 receiver. I don't know what team could withstand that offensively and just seamlessly move along. It's just not realistic. My bigger problem is with the defense and how they get that back to some semblance of respectability. But offensively, you're going to get healthy. Like, you're going to get Eric McCoy back. You're going to get Cesar Ruiz back. You're going to get Taysom Hill back. Olave could be back this week. You're going to get Derek Carr back. Your offense is going to get healthy again. And so we'll have an idea of what this offense looks like when it's healthy. But what you're not getting back is Rashid Shaheed. And it's unfair to expect the offense to be productive without a complement of legitimate NFL starters. I'm not telling you Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a legit number 2 in the NFL right now. I think those days are beyond him. But on this team, even at this point in his career at 30 years old, he's a better option as the number 2 than anybody else you have after Olave. So I do like this for a lot of reasons. It's affordable. It doesn't cost you an asset to go sign him. He's got championship culture and experience. He's a better player than you have. And it's going to give you a better look also at Spencer Rattler this week. And it's going to give Derek Carr and the offense a better sense of what their ceiling can be and their ability is when you look more like an NFL offense instead of an NFL preseason offense. So Saints sign Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I like it. Now they got to get healthy offensively. And maybe more importantly, they got to show a little pride defensively. You had 10 days to prepare for this game out against the Chargers. See if you can go give a better performance than you have over the last month. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're here with us. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Excuse me. I was talking to Ben Sanders from over at First South Farm Credit last week, and Ben told me that in the last 60 days, so in the last 2 months, they've repriced $168 million in current loans. They've done loan modifications. Effectively, when interest rates drop and they see that they can save you money, they'll call you and say, hey, we have a plan to lower your rate and save you money. Like, they do that for all of their borrowers. One of the reasons they've been able to stay in business since 1916. If you're Louisiana and you're looking to buy land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, Otterlocks in 15 minutes. Jimmy will be here. Otterlocks already published, by the way, at louisianasports.net. If you want to go check it out, it's there every day. There's a sports betting page. Just tap the sports betting page. I'll mention to you as well, this would be a huge help to us. If you go to the sports betting page at louisianasports.net, you'll see, or actually on any of the articles, you'll see a link at the bottom of all the articles. For BetUS. There's a BetUS link there. Pull this up, Holly, please. And if you tap that, it'll take you directly to the site to bet, and that's our affiliate link. So if you're going to sports bet, and and you wouldn't mind using that link to go bet through BetUS, that'd be a huge help for us over at LouisianaSports.net. So, look, even if you use other betting apps or sites, why not use this one? I mean, they have a great sign-up bonus right now. We get 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two when you use the promo code YouTube150. You can use our link right there. We'd appreciate it. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back, get you our college football takeaways from the weekend. Muse, Paulie, and I with 3 takeaways each from the college football weekend. It's AFR.
AFR.
Fall is here. Halloween just around the corner. We're 10 days away, y'all. 10 days away from Halloween. Great time to get on by and see our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. Halloween, you know what that means. Pumpkins. You're going to be carving them for your jack-o'-lanterns. You want them just for your decor on your front porch. Maybe you want to make that pumpkin pie. Our friends over at Clegg's Nursery have got you covered. They've got a great selection of pumpkins, all different sizes. They've got these interesting and sort of unique-looking gourds, squash, corn stalks. Get your porches decorated. And remember, get a pumpkin or two for the Halloween carving, the pumpkin painting parties. I hate to say this, but we have a red and gold 87 pumpkin in our den right now because my wife is the biggest Taylor Swift fan that she even decorates a pumpkin with Taylor's boyfriend's jersey number on it. But anyway, go to Clegg's Nursery and get your pumpkins. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, cruising along here in hour number 3. Just got word Otter will not be with us. We do have his picks, though, so we'll go through them in our final segment. But Jimmy apparently just getting in from Beau Rivage. So he's going to go take a nap.
Good weekend for our guy, it sounds like.
Or you're just getting old when 5:38 is bedtime.
I mean, the man just got back.
It's 5:38.
He's been there since like Friday.
Muse. Don't you also understand that it's the whole travel thing? Like when you fly east, you stay up. When you fly west, you go to bed. You want to keep your circadian rhythm. When it's 5:38 and you're like, I got to tap
out.
That's what happens when you're pushing 60, like the Otter. Anyway, he's our guy. Nailed that pick with the Minnesota Lynx last night. My guy's throwing out WNBA picks on a Sunday night, nailing them.
I was going to say WNBA winners, not just picks, winners.
Nailing them. Love it. All right, it's after further review. Let's do a college football takeaways. Hit it.
Another week in the books. What did we learn about the landscape of college football?
All right, Muse, start us off.
All right, well, we're going to start in the SEC. We're going to start with the Florida Gators.
Doesn't it feel so good?
It's growing on me. Growing on me. Not there yet. It's growing.
Muse, you need to do this. You probably won't do this, but you should do this. You should go grab you a few cold Bud Lights, pull up your computer, your smart TV, find the 1997 LSU Florida game, watch it start to finish.
Okay.
Have you ever done that?
I have done that.
Do it again. Start to finish.
I was going to say I know it's on the internet because I've done it.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
It's on the internet because everything's on.
That's a great. Is there anything in the world that might not be? That's a great point. Anyway, speaking of the Florida Gators, who LSU beat in 1997.
Yeah, they did.
People are starting to look at Florida right now. I'm like, wait a minute, they're 4-3.
Okay.
They played Tennessee close.
All right, Muse, I'm here for this. I saw you put it in the group text. I'm here for this. I want to hear it.
I'm here to tell you, don't be fooled by Florida. There was 1 month we pointed to all year, and it was November. That starts next game when they face Georgia, then Texas, then LSU, then Ole Miss, then a bad Florida State team. They have a chance to beat that bad Florida State team. You know why? You know why, Matt? Because Florida's got 4 wins. The combined record of those teams, 10-17. None of them are good. None of them are good. They played Tennessee close. They did, and they lost because their coach, who isn't a good coach, didn't play to win the game. They're not a good team. They're going to go at least 5-7. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the Florida Gators.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I? Our conversation about Florida was whether or not Billy Napier would make it to November. Suggesting that at 4-2, he has outperformed what we expected of him at this point. So I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm just offering that as I'm a little more intrigued than with Napier than maybe you.
Okay. It's going to be a rough November for that team.
DJ Lagway is a much better quarterback for what Billy Napier wants to do than Graham Mertz.
I don't disagree.
So,
but he's still a freshman. And it's going to be a rough November for that team.
Probably.
The Duke Blue Devils got a historic win this weekend.
Yeah, they did.
Since 1992, there has been one certainty in the ACC. Florida State would beat Duke. That was until Friday. There wasn't much offense, but Duke did score on a pick six and 3 field goals. The Duke Blue Devils won.
Well, I'm sorry. You either need to speak up or you need to turn him. One of those two things.
We'll do both.
Okay.
The Duke Blue Devils
there we go.
Beat Florida State for the first time in 23 meetings.
Hi, babe, Duke.
Congrats to
How
the
about
Blue
that?
Devils.
Let's give it up. Come on,
the Dukies.
We're a meritocracy here. We're a meritocracy. You got it done. I don't care that it's the worst Florida State team ever. You got it done. Babe. Michigan started its 3rd quarterback of the season.
That's rough.
Guy's name is Jack Tuttle. He had 20 completions for 208 yards, 2 turnovers. Michigan failed to score 10 points for the first time since September the 6th of 2014. For all the points that I've made about Bama is burning and you can't lose your coach and not miss a beat and everything like that, I understand Michigan lost a lot to the draft. But Bama and Georgia lose a lot to the draft every year too, and they keep recycling and going. It was fair to say Michigan was going to step back. This is a dramatically steeper decline than I think anybody anticipated. I didn't anticipate them being a playoff team. But again, evidence of what happens when you cut off the head of the snake. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is now with the Chargers. And Sharon Moore is learning how hard it is to be a head coach at a major college football program.
Duke was on the right side of history. Auburn, however, they are on the wrong side of history. Hat tip our guy Cole Kublik. Got this stat from him.
Okay.
Auburn lost to Missouri.
He would know.
He would know. Auburn lost. This had to be tough for him to tweet, too. So Auburn lost to Missouri. They were up 2 scores in that game, mind you, in the second half. Found a way to lose it.
Brady Cook came back from the hospital.
Yeah, I mean...
Wait, here's the piece of history, Muse. You let a quarterback come back from the hospital and beat you.
You did. You did. I mean, that's like the old WWE angle. He just comes back. They wheel him out, and he comes back later in the match and wins it.
Man.
It dropped Auburn to 0-4.
That's so college music. My God, that's Brady Cook's music.
It dropped Auburn to 0-4 in SEC play. It's the first time Auburn is 0-4 in SEC play, in conference play.
Can I guess?
In consecutive seasons.
Consecutive seasons.
Since.
Well, there's no doubt that the Chiswick team in 12 after the Cam year went 0-8. So it has to be 11, 12, 13. No, 13 because Trey Mason farther back.
Oh, sir.
Further back?
1950.
So back-to-back seasons.
For start 0-4 in conference play consecutive years since 1950. Those Auburn Tigers.
That's bad. That's really bad.
What else is bad is USC.
Yeah,
they're not
good. Man, wow.
They blew a 14-point lead to lose their 3rd game in a row. They lost to Maryland 29-28.
How in the world did LSU lose? But you know what stays? Our cross-time zone thing.
Yeah.
And so the Trojans have lost their 4 games by a combined 14 points, and all after being ahead in the second half. Can Lincoln Riley turn the season around? USC faces Rutgers next weekend.
The bigger question is, does Lincoln Riley keep his job? Like, talk to some USC people, man. They gave him everything he wanted. Like, do you know? I'm getting off track here. Do you know that they tore down Dado Field, the baseball stadium, to expand the football practice complex? Like, USC, Southern Cal baseball does not have a stadium.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, the people over there, and I mean like the money people, and they got them. Remember, Southern Cal is a private school. They don't have to disclose contracts and donor and all that sort of stuff. Bro, like, this was okay, we gave you everything you wanted. Facility, NIL, blah, 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 blah. And this? Bro, I think he's going to get fired. I think Lincoln Riley, you want a hot take? I think Lincoln Riley's getting fired at Southern Cal. My Texas quarterback thing. That's not going away now. You don't get to bench Quinn Ewers against Georgia to bring in Arch Manning and not like have those flames just continue to be fanned. Sarkisian after the game was like, look, no, we knew. Look, we were just telling Quinn, hey, we're going to go with Arch here. We're coming back to you after half. Just relax. But you don't get to do that and not have that come back. This is the modern day version of the Chris Sims Major Applewhite thing now. You'll have although that situation was weird because the starter was more popular than the backup. The fans wanted Major, but they had to play Chris Sims because he was 5-star, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Sark's got a problem on his hands there. The good news is their schedule stinks, and so he'll probably just keep winning.
Facts. The Big 12 has been really entertaining. You had a lot of parity in that league.
Yeah.
And it's still just going to be a one-bid league for the playoff because nobody's scheduled at 1 loss is worth a damn.
Yeah.
Is Indiana a playoff sleeper?
Yes.
Absolutely.
They blew out Nebraska 56-7. 7-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. They have not trailed for a single play this entire season.
Boom! That's the stat of the day. They've not trailed for a play
single
of the season?
This entire season.
Man.
They did that with a backup quarterback for the majority of that game.
Yeah, dude. Let's see. FIU, Western Illinois, at UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, at Northwestern Nebraska. Bro, the only ranked team they play is Ohio State.
UCLA is our time zone angle, too, there.
That was the one exception. And they blew the doors off of you. It was I'm looking at 46
to 13 or something like that.
42-13. My turn?
Yeah.
Oh. Muse, how you feel about 11-1 Notre Dame? You digging in your heels?
No, well, actually, I was going to say, this week is going to be telling because this actually could end up being kind of a signature win. Like, who else? Where's the other loss on Navy's schedule if they lose to Notre Dame?
They get Navy and Army still.
Yeah.
That's 2 ranked teams.
That was unforeseen, I think, for their schedule. So, it could happen. We'll have to wait and see. They got to win the games, though, Matt.
Did we clip the tape from earlier in the year?
I haven't clipped it, but I have it marked on my desk to go back and clip it when I need to. If I need to.
When you need to.
Okay. It's right there next to the Ashton Genty Heisman stuff, too.
Okay. Ashton Genty ain't winning the Heisman.
I didn't say he was. I said he was going to be a finalist.
I still don't believe he's going to be a finalist.
Okay.
I think we are... Oh, I got to go.
I was going to say we are late is what we are.
Good break.
After further review.
I tell you about River City's 1-hour air and the preseason heater safety check and why it's so important. And I got sent this from Paul over at River City's 1-hour air, and it's a review from a lady named Karen. And she wrote, Justin literally saved my family's life. He noticed that a gas pipe had been knocked loose and was venting into our attic. He fixed it, even though it was the water heater, and he let me know what else to do. Plus, he did a phenomenal job with the heater inspection. I can't recommend Justin enough. Again, I don't tell you to get the heater safety check like to scare you, but it's a reality that we've heard before. And you don't want to become a statistic. Your heater is dormant for months. Before you turn it on, before you have it running during all the cold weather months, make sure you get it cleaned and checked for safety. Let River City's 1-hour air help. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Jerry and Benny Payne
began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, down the stretch, we come final segment here on Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I just totally lost track of time. We didn't have Otter, and so I looked up. I was like, oh my God, we got like a minute. So my apologies. Okay,
1 minute remaining.
Thank you. Is it really 1 minute? Actually, it's close.
It's close. But you said it and it triggered that. I was like, let's do it anyway.
Man. All right, here's Otter's picks. He's got the Bucks plus the 4, and he's got the Chargers laying a point. He says that the Chargers are his best bet. He says coaching matters. They're getting better. Justin Herbert's healthy, looks sharp against a good defense at Denver. So he's got Tampa plus the 4 and the Chargers laying a point tonight if you want to bet the 2 Monday Night Football games there. Otter locks are available at LouisianaSports.net every day with a lot of sports betting content, a whole bunch of other free content, so get it there. All right, before we get out of here, I got to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. Jimmy is a Williamson Eye Center patient, as am I. 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. You can have your eye exam. You can buy your contacts or glasses there. And, of course, if you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can help with a refractive procedure, no matter your age or refractive issue. It's the Williamson Eye Center. All right, we're getting out of here. Been a really good show. We did Bama's Burning earlier this hour. Make sure you catch it on demand. I smoked a cigar in studio. It was really good. The cigar and the bit. James Hurst was here in hour 1. Lots of good stuff. Catch it on demand. Muse Pauly, thanks. See you tomorrow. 3.
After further review.
Optimize. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. As you all well know, when you live in Louisiana, it's not a matter of if you're going to lose power. It's a matter of when. And when the when happens, you want to be prepared. That's why you got to call Optimize. They are the generator people. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. I love telling you about Optimize because there's a reason why they're our state's largest and best full-service Generac dealership. They got 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana, Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between. And they only do one thing. It's home standby Generac generators. So prepare now so you don't have to worry about the inevitable and not having emergency power when you need it. They have turnkey installation, price quote guarantee, and a low down payment. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists,